And welcome back to Mining with Virii, guys. As you can see, I'm standing here in my leather pants. Now, the topics I got a bunch of suggestions in, guys. I love the suggestions. MC Granny gave some great ones, but this week I decided to go with Tater Tots. Love Tater Tot. She's been, one of my oldest fans, and actually she was a fan of my friends who got me into YouTubing or Cosmo, so that's how we first met. So, and she brought up superheroes, right? Superheroes. So when when you think of superheroes, you have Marvel, DC, and she asked me what my favorite was in the universe, stuff like that. So I figured I'd talk about that because a lot of people who aren't diehard comic book fans and haven't been comic book fans for a long time have missed out on a lot of changes in the universes that we're speaking of. And with that being said, I'm going to walk around and do some stuff while we're talking. So, to hands down, as you can see right there, my favorite superhero is Green Lantern. Specifically, Hal Jordan. There have been several Green Lanterns, Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, John Stewart. And there's the new one, I can't think of his name, but there's the new Green Lantern. All the Earth Green Lanterns. But I have always liked Green Lantern. Now, Green Lantern, the reason I liked Green Lantern is specifically Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan was not a hero. He was a showboat. And when he became, quote, a hero, it was something that hadn't been heard of. You had Superman, right? You had Batman, who was kind of the brooding type or whatnot. But you had I apparently totally misadded that. Is that enough? Good enough. So, you had superheroes, but they were all trying to be heroes. Superman was the Boy Scout. Batman was trying to avenge his family. They all had purposes. Hal Jordan didn't. And that's one of the things I loved about him. He just happened to be chosen because of his personality traits. Not because he wanted to be a hero or didn't want to be a hero, but very specifically, his personality traits, the Ring identified with. The ability to overcome great fear, which, turns out it had nothing to do with, really, but besides the point, right? However, DC has always been my universe of superheroes. Why? Because DC has a different level of heroes. If you look at the majority of heroes in the Marvel Universe, okay, you have people like Silver Surfer and Spider-Man fighting side by side. Silver Surfer is what we refer to as a cosmic level superhero. He works on the scale of the cosmos. He's got cosmic power and shit like that. Spider-Man is what we refer to as a street level superhero. He didn't go, he fights crime. He's I'm going to stop the bank robbers and stuff like that. So when you have a cosmic level hero and a street level hero fighting together, that is Marvel in a nutshell. Now, you're probably like, what do you mean? I mean, DC there's not many, honestly. And I know you guys are going to be like, wait, what? There are not a lot of DC street level heroes. Now, it's not because DC doesn't do street level heroes. They do. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but they do. But it's one of those things of, I probably should put those lights down. That way I can't see them. Whatever. Let's get all this shit. So, you've got DC that doesn't really deal with street level characters. And then you have Marvel, which excels at street level characters. And by the way, I'm not belittling street level characters, guys. All these characters need to have their places. They do. It's one of those things where if the street levels and stuff like that aren't there, then the comic book series get boring. They do. They really do. And I'm glad that they still do street level heroes because you need street levels, guys. I mean, Spider-Man's pretty badass. I don't know if you guys saw the latest Civil War, you know, which I could have gotten into a whole deal on that one. But basically, long story short, guys, the Marvel universe and the DC universe are so creatively different that it's hard to compare the two. When you think of, let me turn this down because there's a lot of noise coming in from that. There we go. That should be a little better. Let's see. Yeah, it's better. Marvel did a lot of stuff where they wanted to bring stories that real people would encounter. Okay, you know, domestic violence, crime, rapes, segregation. I mean, these were big issues for Marvel, and Marvel stuck to them and wanted to cover them. DC kind of went, as I said, they went the more galactic concept, the epic world-ending things that occurred. There was very little, so-called, they did cover on like discrimination and stuff like that, but they really just kind of left it out in the open. Marvel focused a lot on those subject matters rather than going the whole, oh, I'm just gonna, I can't think of any storylines off the top of my head. The world's gonna end, guys, blah, 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 And, it's really cool that, the Marvel did that they covered all these subjects, and it was because, people could relate to those subjects. DC kind of went, no, these are superheroes, but they don't, they're super. Why are you here? What the hell? Sir? Dogs. Right? Right, guys? Dogs. I forgot what I was saying, guys. I did it again. Yeah, let's just throw this stuff into a chest. I just want to get it out of my inventory. Okay. Did I get everything? No, I didn't. Okay. One thing I always loved about Minecraft is meat doesn't spoil. It makes no sense. I know, I get it, but meat never spoils. So, hey. Let's put this here. Let's grab that. Two of these. So I can have a sword. But, Marvel liked to get with those, those subject matters, and it was good for them. They had great marketing. I mean, it was an amazing marketing system that they did. And I know I'm not saying, oh, the only reason they did it was because of marketing. No, it's not not what I'm saying. But it is a good point. Now, which universe do I like better? When it comes to superheroes, I like the idea of DC better because when I want to think about superheroes, I want to think about superheroes. Heroes that aren't dealing with, I gotta worry about paying my rent. I know, that's dumb sounding, right? However, it's not Superman, Spider-Man, repeatedly, one of the cool things about, and mind you, I like Marvel. Don't get me wrong, guys. I do like Marvel. The thing is about Marvel was they wanted to make things realistic. For example, Peter Parker, everybody knows Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Common storylines for him was he had to make sure he was employed. He had to get those pictures, otherwise he wasn't able to help support his Aunt May. That's pretty impressive. Because, I mean, he was, in different renditions. They typically portray him as between high school and college. The different, like, Spectacular Spider-Man, this Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. They all portray him at different levels. But his whole thing was he was trying to help support his Aunt May. And that, that's important. Because that was a storyline for his character. So he always had to make those pictures. And he had to, get the job, make sure that, he was employed so that he could make that money. And I can't get up here. Let's fix that. Done. Fixed. And I liked that in Marvel because it did that. Now DC never did that. DC really didn't have to work. I mean, Peter Parker, or not Peter Parker. Why can't I think of Superman's name? Clark Kent. Clark Kent had a job. He didn't really need a job. Let's be honest. Who would hire Clark Kent, a guy that keeps vanishing during very important times, as a reporter? Really, not the greatest concept of a job. Batman. Inherently rich, you know. So I mean, Green Arrow. What's his name? I can't think of his name, but the Green Arrow. Again, rich. You know, none of these guys really had to hold jobs down. DC liked to ignore that fact so that they didn't have to worry about it. And it's, you know, really shouldn't have been worried about, because I mean, let's be honest, they're superheroes, right? Boy, I've rambled on. Excuse me. But to answer the questions, I've always been a DC fan. Mind you, I started off as a Marvel fan. I collected comic books since I was a wee one. You know, shaders always makes it so hard for me to tell where things are lit. But I don't know why I keep going in circles. DC has been I became a huge DC fan, and that's where my love for Green Lantern. I did not start off as a Green Lantern fan. I thought he was kind of hokey. Power ring, yay. Yellow, stop. I mean, dude, a pencil was like his greatest weakness. Funny story. The Alan Scott was actually the first superhero character to brandish the name Green Lantern. He wasn't like the Green Lantern you guys know. He was magic, actually, was his power. And he did have a lantern, hence the name Green Lantern. What do you guys think? Do you guys like I like this? I haven't built in Minecraft in so long. But Alan Scott was an amazing Green Lantern, but I don't classify him as the Green Lanterns. He was the Green Lantern, not a Green Lantern, you know. But anyways, guys, you know, that's pretty much all I got. As I said, DC Comics has always been my forte, but that doesn't mean I like Marvel any less. I just, you know, I got tired of Marvel's superheroes being all whiny. So watch Civil War. If you haven't seen Civil War, go watch Civil War, because it portrays exactly why Marvel Comics lost my interest, because all their comics went that kind of concept. Let's whine about who's going to do this, what, and I get it. They're trying to make it more real, but that's not, you know, when I'm watching. If I want to see something about superheroes, I don't want to know that a superhero goes to the bathroom. I don't really care. I get it. They're human. They're going to go to the bathroom, but I don't care to know that they have to go to the bathroom. You know, the Hulk probably plugs a lot of toilets. I mean, you get my point. So, anyways, guys. Thank you all for your comments. Don't forget to leave some suggestions, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!